Hello, everyone. Patriot 5 here. I know no one's on, so I'm just going to say the pledge, do the music, and then I'll be back. Some people start being here, so I'll be right back. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again, just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, oh, from sea to shining sea. From Detroit down to Houston, New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, oh, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me, and I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today, 'cause there ain't no doubt of this land. God bless the USA. Cause there ain't no doubt I love this
Hello, everyone. God bless America. God bless the USA. Bill Woods and Myrna and Jeremy, Jeffrey and Ian and Janet, John, Maria, Betty.
You tried Viagra, you tried Cialis. Now
Betty,
it's
good to
time to
see you here.
try
Valerie,
Ready has
Lynn,
great prescription ingredients in one tablet. Apple
Pasquale.
boosts arousal in your brain, so benefits
Okay,
for serious strength.
where are we at? Let's talk about the kids.
36 hours of snap. Dissolves under my
Well,
tongue.
since we talked last, the kids had their
No redosing, no clock watching.
Halloween candy day,
Yeah,
and
it's pricier. It's literally
you know,
prescription
okay,
one. And for me,
I'm going to admit I'm 71 years old,
check out Ruchi
kids,
Ready at Ruchi
and I never really paid much attention at Halloween. Halloween to me was always just you went out, you got candy. If you was quick enough in our town, you went home and put a different mask on, different costume on, and you went out again. But you got to remember, you guys go to towns that are big. Our town's 225, 230 people. Some people would catch you, some people wouldn't. If they caught you and they yelled at you, so what? But we used to have a lot of fun. But I want to go back one Halloween, kids, to my to my 2 or 3 of my friends. One of them was my best friend David Gross, who unfortunately no longer is with us. But I want to go back to this Halloween, and about 8 miles out in the country, this company decided they was going to take about 250 acres and plant nothing but pumpkins. Well, that's good, but when you're in the country and you don't have a fence around them pumpkins, people were getting a lot of pumpkins for free that year. But that was okay. My friends decided to go out there one night without me, and they decided to get a lot of pumpkins. Hi, Golden Arrow. They decided to get a lot of pumpkins. Then they decided to go buy a lot of eggs, and we were going to go smash pumpkins on people's doorsteps, and we was going to throw eggs at people's houses. And I'm sitting there that night, eating supper, getting ready to go trick or treating, and I got thinking, why do I want to do that? So I chose to go trick or treating with my sister and my oldest niece. I decided to go as a teenage boy trick or treating and have some fun. Well, that night, these friends of mine, they messed with the wrong guy, let's put it this way. And he had him down. He had him trapped until the police got there, and pumpkins, eggs, and tomatoes they had. And they went to several houses, and I didn't understand, because you could take the pumpkin, carve them up, and make them look cute. But also the stuff in the middle of the pumpkin, Mom can make pumpkin pies. And see, we didn't mess with food back in my day. But anyway, kids, I told you this story because you're going to have challenges coming up in your life where kids are going to want to do that. Now, on Halloween night, for my daughter, she always takes the 3 grandkids, her husband, they get on a golf cart and they take them all over the town. Then they come back in, they get in the car, and they go to the little town over 4 or 5 miles because he has some family over there. They can go to their house. They can't come to mine. But that's okay. It is what it is. But anyway, my oldest granddaughter decides she doesn't want to go trick-or-treating with the kids this year. She wants to go with her friends. And that was okay. And I haven't approached her yet, but it was okay until I realized, I looked at my calendar and I had to change it. My daughter gives me a calendar every year for Christmas. And this calendar has pictures every month, like in January. If anybody's birthday and one of the kids' birthdays or that is in January, there's pictures of the kids. They'll have pictures of Lincoln and Washington. February, my birthday, they'll have a picture of me, and usually with all of my grandkids, and things like that. March is Super Gymnast. That's her time for that thing. April is Small Hank. May is the Little Monkey, and June, July. June is my daughter's. And all of the family members. There's pictures there of that. But there's also pictures. Now that's just in the calendar part. Up top, there's all kind of pictures. I think there's 9 boxes that she puts pictures of all my grandkids up there. A lot of them are with me. A lot of them are with them together. And when I was getting ready to turn the calendar, I looked at it and I seen the picture of Super Gymnast. I seen the picture of her last Halloween, because that would have been this year's calendar. And it kind of made me feel sad because, see, she didn't get no pictures taken in her costume this year. So next Halloween, the month of October, when I look at these pictures, there's not going to be one of my oldest granddaughter. And it kind of stung me. And see, I said something. I said something to Julia about it, and she could tell it bothered me. And she said, just have a talk with Ella and tell her, yes, she's growing up, but she's never going to outgrow her love for you. And I'm thinking, wow, that's pretty cool. And that's what I'm trying to teach you kids tonight. Don't outgrow the love for the people who love you. Just because you're growing up, we've all been there. You know, I heard a saying the other day on Facebook, kids. I heard a saying, and I'm sure Valerie and One Voice and Jeffrey and Golden Arrow, Janet, Myrna and John, I'm sure all of you is going to agree with me. Remember in high school, do you remember the first day you walked into your high school? Did you feel intimidated? Because see, in 8th grade and junior high, you're the top dog. Now all of a sudden you're going back to the little puppy. And you got these seniors and juniors that think they're super cool and they run the school and they like to scare the freshmen. So when you become a freshman, your dream is to become a senior. And then when you actually become a senior, like I am at 71 years old, you don't like it so much. You wish you was a freshman again. Because see, there's 2 seniors. There's your senior in high school and maybe college if you go, so there would be 3. But then there's your senior when you grow up. So what I'm trying to tell you kids is enjoy your life now. Be kids now. My goodness gracious, we got a senior on here and we got a kid on here. And I went today, and I don't have a whole lot for the show, guys, because I couldn't find anything. There's not a lot out there, but I'm going to share something. But this senior and his kid, I look at Ron, I said, Ron, we got 56 or 66 messages. There's got to be something in there. And I start looking, and it's this senior man who I love dearly, and this junior boy who I love dearly. And they just overtook everything. Out of the 56, I think 39 of them was theirs. There was literally nothing. Linda posted a few things and a couple other people, but they were just chatting back and forth. Huh? Ron found a couple things later. And I mean, I don't mind if you chat like that.
Go do it on Patriots.
But I want to give you a couple examples, folks, who's doing a lot of chatting on there. The site was formed so I could get information for the shows, get information to share to others. And I know you guys are all going through a lot, so I'm not going to say anything. But, you know, if it's just going to be you two chatting back and forth like that, you know, right there on Telegram, all you have to do is click on each other's picture. It'll take you right to your own site, and you can chat back and forth to each other. And I'm not saying you can't chat there. It's just that, and I was excited. I thought, boy, there's a lot. Because I got real excited yesterday when the lady come out with something. And I'll get into that in a little bit. But I want to talk to the kids. And Jimmy, you know, hey, I know what you're going through, buddy. I'm in a lot of contact with your dad. It's going to be good. It's going to be okay. And the answer to your question that you asked, John, yes, 100%, absolutely yes. Your mother loves you as much today as she did the day that God took her home. There's no doubt about it. Matter of fact, she probably loves you more. You had an amazing mother. You have an amazing mother. I'm sure your mom and my mom's met up someplace up in heaven, and they're having good times. So yes. And John, thank you for handling it the way you did. You did an amazing job, buddy. And then we have Patriot 11, who just haven't heard nothing from him, but I'm sure he's okay. We have Patriot Karate Kid and Patriot Wyatt Earp. 2 more missing in actions. But I know their mom, very hard worker, and their dad is too. And they're a very family-oriented group. And I know they're fine. And I know Michelle will drop us a line one of these days, might even have the boys call me. Patriot, Princess, our queen, and Patriot Hunter, her brother. You know, I seen the picture of you and Grandma. You two and Grandma. It's Janet's birthday? John, we talking about our Janet here? Janet, it is your birthday today? Hi, Lady Anita. Hi, Pamela. Come on, someone's got to let me know. I got to sing to her. What's today? Hold on, guys. Happy birthday tomorrow, Janet. Happy birthday tomorrow, Janet. Happy birthday tomorrow, Janet. Happy birthday to you. I had to sing it tonight, sweetie, because we don't have a show tomorrow night. So, I was talking to Princess and Hunter, and Jana posted a picture of them two. Princess, you are a beautiful young woman. But guys, I'm going to tell you something here, Ian Bell. Hunter, I'm telling you right now, this boy is going to have girls after he you know, when he goes a freshman in high school, if he isn't already there, sophomore, he ain't going to have to worry about which girl do I want to like. He's going to have to choose of which one he don't want to like. This is a handsome, handsome young boy. Wow. And he's a patriot. Patriot Boogs, Boogaloo, Boogaroo, and Boogie are 4 Bs. John's been sending me pictures and Halloween costumes, and I got a Halloween costume from Mike for Patriot Little Leona. She went as a princess. The Boogs, man, I tell you, they always are sending me stuff, and I appreciate each and every time they do. They're growing though, quick though. It just seems like the last one was just born. But then again, little Jimmy's little sister, my goodness. You know, I made a statement to John today. Not John, Jim, Renee's husband, Jimmy's mom. And the statement I made, I'm not going to go into detail here because, and I'm not trying to hide things like other people do. I'm not going to look at you and say, I know something, but I can't tell you, because this is something that if Jimmy and his dad want people to know, they'll let know. But I'm telling you, what they're going through, the loss of their mom was off the charts worse, terrible, especially the way it happened. But then to get news that they've got is just, boy, I pray for them every day. Patriot Little Elan, her mommy actually posted a picture on Grandma's page of her, and I got to see her. But as I said, Little Leona, she went as a princess, and that's the exact same thing as Patriot Little Monkey went as a princess. Okay, there's someone here. Love has one. Joy reigns two. Is that a new person here? Nice what you said. Where we go one, we go all. Yeah, let's everybody give it up for Janet's birthday tomorrow. But I've already mentioned the super gymnast, and right now I'm kind of in a funk here that a week ago Saturday, not this past Saturday, but a week ago Saturday, I went to Liam's football game where he won the Super Bowl. And that's the last time I've seen them three grandkids, Patriot, super gymnast, Patriot 7. And I'm not even sure Patriot 7's taken off his first football jersey yet. He was supposed to go with something Halloween night, and he somehow got his football jersey introduced to the outfit too. And I think he's afraid to take it off, that he's going to realize that the season's over. But it was quite a season. Here's a young boy, never played football in any kind of league before. And I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I seen him playing football at one of Patriot Little Monkeys T-ball games one night. And he'd get the ball and take off running, and kids would run him down. They'd run him down. They'd go to tackle him, and he'd fumble the ball. And then he became a star running back for the team this year. He improved tremendously. But see, the reason he improves, kids, and all of you kids, I want you to listen to what I'm about to say, because I'm not just bragging up my grandson here. The reason he improved is because when he wasn't in school, when he was home, and I'd like to say after he got his chores done, but his mom had to get on him all the time about getting his chores done. But he was always out practicing. Whether it was just throwing the football up in the air, catching it, whether it was putting the football down and practices kicking because he was the kicker on the team. Or he might just take the ball like he was running and giving head fakes and that as he's running. I'm very proud of him. He did very good for a kid that my only hope when he started was he didn't hurt himself. He didn't get hurt. I know there was a couple times in the game we couldn't tell what kid was down on the ground, and I'm holding my daughter's arm over on the sideline as we're both anxiously hoping and praying it's not him. And then I looked at my daughter and I said, "Do you feel as bad as I do for the relief?" And she said, "What do you mean?" I said, "I was still a young boy down there." And we were worried about the young kid down there because, I wish there was a way they could fix that game where no one got hurt. But they do. And sometimes they get hurt silly. But Patriot Small Hank, I got his Christmas present, a couple of his Christmas presents today. And I showed him to his mom. And I showed him to his dad, and I got a seal of approval. They think he's really good. So much so, one of the things I got him, they asked me if I could get it for the little girl too. I'm not going to tell you what it is because my son told me he might watch the show tonight. I think it was just his way to get me out of the house, but no, I'm just joking. But he did say he might watch it. We'll see. Little Kira, I wanted to get her a nightlight with her name on it. One of these night lights that you plug into the wall, and it'll have her name on it, Kira, in a little figurine that she likes. I wanted to get it for her. And they said no. I said, "Why?" They said, "She likes to sleep in the dark. She gets freaked out if you turn the light on. When they go in and put her in her bedroom, she looks at her mom and dad and says, 'Shut the light off.'" She's not even 3 years old, but she'll be 3 the 13th. I know people that's my age that still sleeps with lights on. But the Patriot Little Monkey, I think because I babysat her the last 3 years and I was with her so much, going this long, 9 days now that I haven't seen him, I think this is the one that bothers me the most. And I was hoping to go see him tomorrow night, but I got some things I got committed to and that. So there's where we're at with the kids. And kids, remember, this video is not meant for you. You can watch it under the discretion of your parents, grandparents, or legal guardians. The music we played tonight is for entertainment purposes only. We have no legal rights to it. We play it for it's something that we took on as a theme song and that. And I'm not playing any other videos. So if I do play another video, we have no legal rights to that too. We're just using it for entertainment purposes. So as we all know, guys, big things are, according to people, are supposed to happen over the next 48 to 72 hours. That's what we've been told. I don't know about you guys, but I waited patiently. And yesterday, I got to see if I can find it here. I'm almost there. Maybe I'm not. Okay. What the heck? Wrong one. Bear with me a minute here. Maybe this one. Okay. This is from Patriot Princes yesterday. From Patriot Princes 5 hours ago. Green light confirmed. EBS power online. The signal is live. The grid is active. Power has been restored to the military network, and the final phase is underway. Patriot comeback in motion. Stay vigilant. Prepare for global silence in the coming hours. Everything will shift. Power will disappear. Signals will fade. The world will freeze for a moment. That changes everything. This is not chaos. It is calibration. The silence is the signal. As the blackout begins, encrypted transmissions will move through the last secure frequency. We'll recognize it when you hear it. Do not fear it. What you call darkness is the evil being lifted. Multiple value individuals have been detained. Military tribunals have been active underground for months. The confessions, recorded documents, archived, every name, every lie, every crime. Nothing escapes the grid. This is not a drill. This is the reset, the shift back to truth. Everything fake is collapsing. Everything real is returning. Trust the plan. Trust the stillness. Trust what emerges after the darkness. The world you know was never real. What comes next is October 22nd, 2025. We entered the broadcast. The silence isn't empty. It's full of revelation. Now, I'm going to be honest with you here. That's the way I like to be. But see, as I was talking to Mike today, he was talking about a guy that I use some of his stuff when he's on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And we and him got kind of comparing notes on our feelings. And I said, well, I don't listen to him, but I enjoy his shows to the extent, because on Tuesdays and Thursday nights, hi, Russ. On Tuesdays and Thursday nights, I get to spend time chatting with Marianne for 35 or 40 minutes. She comes on at the very beginning. She goes through all of their crap at the beginning. She goes through everything with Sue, everything with Bob. And guys, if you've never heard Sue and Bob talk, if you're having trouble sleeping, go listen to them. They are so boring. They will, Bob especially. And he seems like a very nice guy, but he has a monotone talk to him that, oh my goodness gracious. But we was discussing things about these. Now Bruce has got thousands and thousands and thousands of followers. And we got comparing other followers. And I says, the thing that's bothering me right now with people doing these shows, there's a new man that's on the screen now, goes by Big Daddy. And he seems like a very, very nice guy. But what I see in him, he's a guy that's seen, hey, there's a way I can make some bucks here. And it's what he's doing. I mean, when he gave the news the other day that Mark Z just broke something, and I'm not going to say who did this, but there's 3 people in our group that sent me what Mark Z just broke. Last week, Mark Z broke a story. And the story was, according to Big Daddy, the story was that what Mark says, and he just broke this story, we're all going to start getting paid from our birth certificates, our marriage certificates, our divorce certificates, and other things. We're now going to get paid for that. That was the story that he said Mark just broke. I went back and looked at a video of mine 2 years ago. I was talking about that 2 years ago. And there was people talking about it before that. And I don't mind anybody. I encourage people. Bill Woods, Janet, Valerie, Jeffrey, if you guys would want to go out and start your own show, I'd be one of the first ones to follow you. And I'd help you get stuff for your shows. I encourage people to go out there. The more people, that's how I got here. I got here because I watched Mr. Pillow. And I watched his life. He did a 2-video series of it. And I watched Mr. Pillow telling about his drug addiction, about all this other stuff, and how he beat this. And then I watched him say how he will not give up, he will not surrender, he will not comply. And I've lived by them things my whole life. And I got thinking, I can do this. I've never fought drug addiction. I've never had any addictions. Maybe candy. But I thought to myself, I can do this. And it was because of Mr. Pillow. And I actually wrote him a message one day, and he replied to it. And I thanked him for opening my eyes and not always worrying about what's happened. See, because when I was 3 years old, I had polio. The doctors told my mom and dad to put me in a home. I'd be dead before I was 10. I never walked. I become the fastest kid in the school. And the reason I become so fast is because I had an older brother that was really fast. I had to stay a half a step ahead of him, or he'd beat my butt maybe. I don't know. Now the other brother I didn't have to worry about. You don't get a nickname like Bump because you got blazing speed. When I was 10 years old, my mom, I woke up one night in the middle of the night and I was crying and hurting and I felt like I was dying. When I was 10 years old, it was 1964. Guys, cars were not as relevant. There was no such thing as the internet. She couldn't, call 911. There was no 911. And we had no jalopy. We didn't have a good car. But in the middle of the night, my mom took me to the hospital. The doctors told them if I had waited till the morning, I might not have made it. The worst case of double pneumonia they said they'd ever seen. That's 2 times in 10 years that I was told I could have died. For one time I should have, they said. A total of 7 times in my life, I've been told by doctors, medically speaking, you should have died. At the Super Bowl game the other day for Liam, I met a nurse, and my daughter said, "This is my dad. Do you remember him?" And this nurse gave me the big hug and said, "Oh my God, you look amazing." And I said, "Well, thank you. You look pretty nice too." And she was a very, very beautiful girl. And she said, "You don't remember me, do you?" I said, "You look familiar like a nurse." And she said, "Yeah. The night that they brought you in 2 years ago, I was your nurse." I said, "Okay." I said, "I remember you now." And she said, "When I went home the next morning, I called in there 4 times during the day to check on you, and they told me that they sent you to the intensive care unit." You know, we talk about doctors and we talk about nurses, and that's why I'm so happy we're going to these special beds, because, see, when we go to these special beds, the nurses are going to get the recognition they deserve. They're going to make as much money, I would imagine, as the doctors. You know, let's face it, when you get in bed number 1, you're not even going to need probably a doctor. The nurse will take you, put you in, you know, tell you a few jokes. Hopefully you got a cute one. But, you know, and I used to think, when I went to hospital, I used to think, man, I don't want to go to hospital unless I can have a really good looking nurse. I remember a few years ago, Ron went in, and I'm telling you, this whole hospital for his nurses was nothing but beautiful. And then I go to intensive care 2 years ago, and I get a boy, a man. My first impulse was, I don't want a man for a nurse. I want a beautiful nurse. If I'm so close to dying, I want to go out looking at someone nice. But this man saved my life because he wouldn't give up on me. He went to his bosses, and he told his bosses, I got 3 patients here in intensive care. I'm passing this one off to this one, and I'm passing this one off to this one, and I'm not leaving Mr. Anderson's sight until I saved his life. That was at a point where they told me I had 8 hours or less to live. In 2.5 hours, he saved my life. So never judge a package. You know, always make sure you know what it is. And guys, I'm telling you this because until these magic beds, do not think, I'm not going to a hospital because I'm just going to wait. You wait, it could cost you your life. And then the magic beds are going to be no good at all. But let's talk a little bit about the magic beds. The hat swears and still swears and still swears. And I'm not talking cussing swear. He says they will be ready to the public. By January 1, 2026. Now, we don't know if that's the calendar we're on now, or if he's going to use his bogey and take 13 more days. When will Christmas be? Will Christmas be on the 25th from now on? Maybe, I think this year. But next year, will it be, on the 6th or the 7th is when other countries, I know that's when Ukraine celebrates it. Because isn't the 6th 13 days after our Christmas? You know, I just want them to be able to put the stuff together like they say. I want to be able to sit down, and I don't care if I got to sit there and watch and watch and watch. See, here's the thing. When you're watching TV and someone says, well, that's not a very good movie, how do you know? You're probably not giving it but about 60% chance if it's good or not, because you got one of these in your hand and you're scrolling and watching little videos. I do it all the time. I chat with people all the time. Good night, Myrna. Myrna, you don't. You can't have a long day tomorrow. There's only 24 hours in every day. Come on, Myrna. You're just tired. Sweet dreams. I'm just messing with you. So, what I read a little bit ago about what Patriot Princess said, I sent that to Julia. And that's where actually I read it out of the letter I sent her last night because I knew where it was at and I didn't know where else I had it put it. And I sent it to her. And in her letter today, she told me when she got the letter yesterday, because I sent her 2 different letters, I sent it in both of them. She said she read it twice. Then she went out and read it to her best friend and her mom and let them both read it. And see, what I'm trying to do is these people that I know over in that country, I'm trying to prepare them for what can happen. And Mike Davis and hey, Randall West, good to see you. Myrna, you've already said good night, but you too. Anybody that's on this show, it doesn't hurt to plant a seed. It doesn't hurt to plant a seed and tell people what's going on. Because if you plant a seed, like I was down at my house a little bit ago, and I just was talking to my son. His wife was there, my daughter-in-law. And I said, there's a good possibility that we may be losing power here soon. Don't call the electric company. Don't panic. If you want to run and get your, what are them things that you can plug in, you can use in generators. If you want to get your generator going so you can get the lights back on, go ahead. But when it comes on, you're not going to have internet service. You'll have TV. You'll be able to watch TV. The lights will come back on. And you can watch one channel. And it'll be 8-hour documentaries. And, I didn't go into detail. They looked at me both like I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And you know what? I've been doing this so long, I might be. I didn't answer any questions. I didn't say anything. I just planted a seed. Because, see, if I'm here at Ron's and this happens, they can't call me. I've done the same thing with my daughter. I've actually talked to my daughter and my son-in-law, both grandson. I've actually talked to them a lot about it. I prepared them. I prepared the grandkids. My son, daughter-in-law, and 2 grandkids at the house, I can explain to them once it happens. Because, see, once it happens, and the only thing they're going to see is what's on that TV screen, them 8-hour documentaries. And I would imagine before them 8-hour documentaries start, and this is how I'm hoping it happens, that our leader, Mr. Hatt, or someone in charge comes on and explains what is going on. I'm hoping that's what happens. And then, you're watching an 8-hour documentary. Well, some people might not hear about it right at the exact time. They may not hear about it. So they come in and all they can get on their TV is this one channel. They're going to be panicking. They're not going to be able to call people on their phone, so they're not going to know. That's why I'm saying John and Janet, Bill Woods and One Voice, Golden Arrow, plant seeds. I live a little different than a lot of people because, see, I live close enough to people that when this happens, they're going to give us like 5 hours to get everything in place. I can go door to door to every house in my town and tell people exactly what's going to happen. And I'm going to say, you've been warned. You've got the original warning. They've told you got 5 hours. You can listen to it or you can ignore it and you can go on with your lives the way you are. And it's going to come back and bite you so hard in the rear end that you're not going to set for a couple of days. So if nothing else happens in this show tonight, and like I said, guys, I don't have a whole lot. I'm going to go in. Ron said he got me a couple more things. I had a couple things. I had the thing with Patriot Princess. But if nothing else comes out of it, plant seeds. Now I'm hoping the lights don't go out until maybe after 6 tomorrow. I'm hoping they don't, because I want Janet to enjoy her birthday. Are they getting you cake, sweetie? So, I had something else I really wanted to say, and I lost my train of thought. It might come back to me. Man, it's a long one. Ron sent me these two things. One's from the emergency broadcast system. The trumpets will sound worldwide. Humanity will soon experience 7 trumpets, EBS alerts delivered directly to every phone on Earth. These are not ordinary notifications. They are the signal of the final awakening. Each trumpet will call us to tune in to our televisions, to our radios, to receive the truth that has been hidden for centuries. The 10 days of communication darkness. For 10 days, the world will stand still. The internet shut down, ATMs and banks offline, phones restricted to emergency calls only. Although the military will hand out apps that allow cell phones to work normally under the new Starlink system, during these days, 3 times daily, 8-hour documentaries will broadcast globally. These revelations will be undeniable, exposing mass arrests, military tribunals, and that's all I can tell you right now, because my phone is so screwed up right now, guys. It keeps bringing stuff. I got to shut my phone off and do it. Now, what I just read to you there, it's exactly what I was just talking about. It's exactly what I was telling you. And I didn't know that Ron had got that. And then, when I read it, I'm thinking, well, I'm spitting and sputtering trying to show you what it is. This comes right out and shows you and tells you what it is. So I think we're just in a situation here that we've never been closer. We're right on the verge of everything. Now, as I'm waiting for my phone to power back on, if you remember last Thursday night when I talked about Bruce and the big call, or Bruce and the tiny call, or the little call, or whatever call. But as I talked to you about that, I told you not only that, but there was also something that came out that we were supposed to get Doge money today or tomorrow. Senior citizens 62 and over, we're supposed to get $495,000. People 40 to 61, we're supposed to get a nice chunk. If I heard right, I heard somewhere in the neighborhood of 220 to 225,000. And the reason they're keeping it like that is because in a way it's right, in a way it's wrong, but they don't want single people. They don't want a family, a married couple that's young to get more money. They want the seniors to get the most money, from what I'm hearing. Now, if you're 62 and older, you're going to get 495,000 times 2. Then it will go. I've heard different things. On the Doge, what I'm hearing, 18 out of high school up to 39 will get like 125,000 is what I've heard. Now, I don't know, guys. I'm just telling you, don't shoot the messenger, but that's what I've heard. So what I'm saying here is we're all sitting here. And if we're sitting here as seniors, like me and Ron, and I'm not going to accuse anybody else here of being seniors, but if you're a senior, give me a thumbs up, if you would. And it doesn't matter if you don't, because what I'm going to tell you is right now, the last I checked it, XRP was at $2.31. $2.31. And they're keeping it low right now because all bazookas are about ready to hit the fan. Okay. Several seniors. Thank you. John's a senior so much he put it up twice. Thank you, everyone. Hey, Cindy. And Cindy knows the importance of XRP. And I'm not telling you about XRP because I am not a financial advisor. I'm someone who loves everyone here, as Ron does, and we're trying to tell you. Well, one of the things me and Ron said, we're each going to take a minimum, if we get $495, a minimum of $50,000 and buy as many XRP as we can. Now, why would we spend that much money to do something? Well, first of all, you're not losing anything. You know, they're going to say, well, we give you $495,000 and the first day you spend $50,000 of it. No. You're investing. And just imagine if for every $10 you get a little over $4, but let's just say $4 for a little over $10. Imagine how many that's going to be for $50,000. To me, I think it's a pretty good investment. But as I said, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just giving you guys. Now, people ask, and they was asking on the site the other night, where did you get it? I got mine from Uphold. I don't know really of any other. Someone suggested Uphold to me, and I got it from me and Ron, and that's what we have. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm not telling you to put 50,000, but if they give you a nice chunk of change, hey, and you can do it, guys. I've been seeing videos that if you hold 100 of these, you're going to be well into the millions. So just imagine if you own 1,000 of them, you know, and especially if you're someone that holds no foreign currency. Now, another thing that we can talk about is there's other money coming. There's our money that we're going to get for, you know, as Big Daddy says, Mark told us that we're getting the money for all the interest and all this other stuff. And that's going to be a large amount in the millions. I don't know if you've seen it, but they opened a Rodriguez fund the other day, and it was 150 septillion dollars in it. Now, septillion is 150 with 24 zeros behind it. If you give everybody in the world $10 billion, everybody in the world $10 billion, it would not touch it. It would not even come close to touching it. Speaking of that, on TikTok, you know, we have these people on TikTok that they're always pretending to be someone. Well, you know, the real rich guy that handled the Doge projects. What's his name? Ron, what's Elon Musk. There's a guy on TikTok. He's Elon Musk, and Elon's, he started following me. If someone follows me, I follow him back. And all of a sudden he says, what do you know about my stock? What do you know about Tesla stock? What do you know about my stuff, all of my stuff? I said, all I know is you're the richest man in the world. You're the richest man in the world. You say you want to help build the world up. You say you want to do that. You went, I told him, I said, you went with a hat and you did amazing things with Doge. He said, you're very informative. I said, well, I try. And he says, I said, why? And he says, well, what would you be willing to invest in my stock? And I said, well, let me ask you a question. He said, what? I said, you think I'm a nice guy? Yeah. You like my videos? Yeah. Well, why don't you give me some of your stock? Is it going to hurt you? I said, matter of fact, Mr. Musk. I said, matter of fact, you're a multi-million billionaire. Read an article the other day, you might become the first trillionaire in the world. And he didn't say nothing. He said, I'm very wealthy. I said, well, let me ask you this. If you're so wealthy and you want to help people so much, why don't you give everybody in the world $1 million? I never heard from him again. When I said, why don't you give everybody $1 million? I said, I know how many people's in the world approximately. It wouldn't even put a dent into your money. I never heard from him again. You got to be careful, guys. There's phony people out there. When multi-billionaires start asking you to invest in them, nah, that's not good. So Ron sent one more thing here. I'm going to read it before I call it a night. This is coming from Sherry Tenpenny, the shutdown of QSF. A live leak. The hat uses the Democrat government shutdown to launch a final move to close the old financial system and set off global disclosure of QSF is live. EBS is ready to strike. The prices are falling more quickly than the globalists can respond. As October 3rd, 2025, the quantum financial system is operational and currently handles gold-backed SAI transactions for Tier 3 humanitarian operators, military retirees, and patriots. The emergency broadcast system is operational and completely wired. Both systems are now being activated more quickly thanks to the shutdown. The Democrats started at 12:01 on October 1 in an attempt to stop the hat. In an attempt undermine the hat's reforms, Democrats shut down the government, but their ruse backfired. The hat and the white hat coalition were able to expedite QFS deployment and complete EBS integration without hindrance. During this shutdown, normally interfering agencies went silent to install quantum nodes and EBS uplinks. DHS, Treasury, and DOD took action. Complete QFS audits were carried out cautiously by military cyber teams. SHI, a DNA-linked digital system with a gold backing that uses secure nodes and quantum access cards to confirm identity in the heart of the QFS transparency oriented and impervious and manipulation. The 7-second audio is the first component of activation. A quantum biometric handshake is initial by audio. Your SHI wallet unlocks in your DNA signature, matches the registry. According to the Big G, procedures frozen fiat balance can be converted into gold-backed SHI. Users report better clarity, uninterrupted wallet access, and confirmation that QFS has identified them. EBS secures communication while QFS secures finances in the integrated and hardened quantum secure servers that are prepared to take over compromised networks worldwide and has passed all signal checks. EBS will start soon as biometric syncing is completely probable. The goal is to reveal the control infrastructure, which includes covert financial corruption, CIA operations, and rigged elections. EBS and QFS operate in tandem while one protects truth, the other protects wealth. Through national security orders, the HAT have been carrying out last-minute actions to shut down COVID funding sources, eradicate globalist channels, finish EBS installation, and enforce Big G compliance. He had access time and silence during the shutdown. There are currently thousands of active SHI accounts. The 7-second audio is used to activate wallets and verify biometric matches. SHI reserves are being created by seizing the elite's asset internally. The Federal Reserve infrastructure is falling. There are EBS trigger channels ready for synchronization. The editor's power, the elite's power is diminished with each account that is activated. People become more conscious, making decisions, become more incisive after being shut out of the network for decades. The mind synchronizes with it. QFS is beginning with wealth back. EBS is prepared to bring the truth back. There won't be any waiting after synchronizing is finished. No haggling. All of the screens, gadgets, and stories were disrupted. This is the last phase. The past was cleared by the shutdown. The QFS is operational. Next up is the EBS. Time to get prepared. As long as that was, I had to think it was good because I don't read long things like that. But anyway, guys, for a show that I didn't think we had very much, it turned out to, I feel, a pretty good show. I want to thank each and every one of you. We've got 102 people on here. I don't know what the high for the night was, but that's the highest I've seen. And I thank each and every one of you, Golden Arrow and Janet and John. Once again, Janet, happy birthday tomorrow. One Voice, Russ, all of yous, everyone that's here, and everybody that watches video, have a great evening. Sweet dreams to each and every one of yous. And hopefully we'll do a show tomorrow just because we get some great news. But if not, we'll be back Wednesday. Same bat time, same bat channel. Good night, everyone. Love yous all. Patriot 5, Patriot 6. Ooh.